Hey guys, this is John with CheatSheetPros. We're going to take a look at our NFL Week 3 best bets. I'm going to try to keep this video short and sweet, and I'm going to follow along on our NFL cheat sheet and move my mouse around as I'm talking so you can see what I'm referring to and what's jumping out at me when I'm looking at the sheet. That way, if you're opening up the NFL cheat sheet, you're looking at a game that we did not discuss. You kind of know what to look for and what jumps out at me. So let's go ahead and get started. So game number 1 is Carolina at Houston. So this is my first pick of the week. Line open at -3, now it's -8. I'm going to bet it at -8. I'm also going to tease it down to -2 and put it on a couple different 6-point teasers with some other games we're going to discuss here in a minute. Now what jumps out at me is Carolina's defense is ridiculous. It is number 1 in the NFL right now. It's allowing a league low 190 total yards. That's 46.5 rush yards per game and 143 passing yards per game. So first, which coincides down here with number 1 total D, number 1 rush D, number 1 pass D. And then sometimes these numbers can be skewed, so I like to look at allowed yards per rush attempt. They're allowing 2.7 yards per carry, which is the league low. Now they get to face a bad Houston team with a subpar offensive line and a backup QB. So I'm going to lay pretty much whatever it is at this point. Here in our trenches, you can see the Houston offensive line, how it ranks with different areas of the running game, and then the Carolina defensive line, and it's just advantage Carolina all the way. My cheat lineup here had this model at -8.5, and we have them winning roughly 29-21 or 30-21, but that was before Houston had a backup QB. So lay the points there and then move on to Sunday. Game number 2 I like is Arizona over Jacksonville. So line opened at 6.5. It's now 7. Our Bobby Index has this at Arizona -11.5. And typically for an NFL game, you don't see that much of a spread on the Bobby Index. The cheat line has it at possibly up to -15, and we've got a projected score of 32-17. And then our last year models that some of our subscribers really like, we left them in here, and they've got them scoring 37 and 34, and then Jacksonville staying sub 20. So when I'm looking at this, what jumps out at me is Arizona has the 3rd most passing yards per game, and then Jacksonville is allowing the 27th most passing yards per game. But don't worry, Jacksonville also sucks on offense as they're giving up the 25th most rushing yards per game. So these numbers are kind of a red flag for me. I usually don't like laying 7 in the NFL, but against Jacksonville, I will go ahead and take a shot. Their offense is struggling to score, and then Arizona's defense is really not that bad. I mean, we saw what they did in week 1. They've got the 6th total defense, 10th rushing, 8th passing. I think Jacksonville is going to continue to struggle to score. We know Arizona is going to be in that game all the way to the end, so it's just a matter of whether they win by 3, 4, or cover the 7. I'm hoping they can get up there and cover the 7. Jacksonville ranks 30th versus the wide receiver 1, 30th versus the wide receiver 2, so Hopkins should not have an issue in this game scoring. So Arizona is the second one that I want to do. I'm also going to do a 2-team 6-point teaser and tease down Arizona to -1 and Carolina to -2 as one of my plays as well. Moving on, Tennessee, Indy. This line opened at 53, dropped to 48. Tennessee opened at 3.5, went to 5.5. Status of Carson Wentz is up in the air. I don't want anything to do with this game right now. I'm more of a wait and see. It's just not a game that I have a side on that I really like. Detroit, Baltimore. This is too many points right now. Detroit, who knows what they're going to do. Moving down, Buffalo, Washington. Line opened at -9. Now it's down to -7.5. Heineke looked good, but again, a game that I'm not going to get involved in. New Orleans at New England. Opened up at New England 0 or pick out to -3. I'm going to stay away from that one. Come down here for the Chargers and Chiefs game, and this is my play number 3. And so -6.5, still -6.5. Total opened up at a sky high 54.5. Bobby Index has Chiefs -4. So this is leaning over to a Charger play. My cheat line, this has this at Chargers -5. Now, I don't think the Chargers are going to win by 5. That's based on a yardage versus average and a bunch of other stuff. So we have a possibility of the Chargers scoring 29 points here, and that is definitely possible. What jumps out at me is both teams are 2nd and 4th in passing yards per game. They're very low in rush yards per game. Neither team really likes to run, but they both give up a bunch of rush yards allowed. But the difference over here is Kansas City, well, basically Kansas City giving up 202 rush yards per game and then 267 pass yards per game. Now, the Chargers have a decent pass defense. It comes in at fourth, allowing only 177 pass yards per game. But I think this game's going to turn into a shootout, and there's going to be a lot of points on each side. The alarming factor after watching that Baltimore-Kansas City game is Kansas City's given up an average of 469 yards per game, which is highest in the NFL, and that's 109 over the league average. So that concerns me a little bit. I can't give up 6.5 points in a spot like that where, yes, I live in Kansas City. Anyone that's followed me, they're in my chat group, they're on our Facebook groups. They know I'm a Chiefs fan. I live in Kansas City, but I just can't see them winning a game by 7 now unless they're going to score, 45 points and have 3 or 4 picks. So with our defense right now, my third play is going to be the Chargers plus 6.5. And if you want to put this on a 2-team 6.5 point teaser, you can get that up to 13, which I love. And you could either pair that with Carolina, or you could pair it with this over and take this over down to 48. So that would give you Chargers plus 13 and a total over 48. And I think 2-team 6.5 point teaser, it's around minus 120, I believe, depending upon your book. Mine's a little bit different. Also, if you wanted to sprinkle a little bit on a Charger money line with the over parlay, that would pay pretty good. I don't mind that. But again, I'm going to be cheering for the Chiefs. I just can't see them covering 6.5. And if you tease this up if you get over 7.5, I mean, you've got the hook, the touchdown. I think you're going to be good to go there. Giants, Atlanta. This game's getting a lot of action. Everybody's talking about this is a must-win for the Giants, obviously, and releasing Saquon and letting him go nuts. Atlanta's been kind of up and down. I don't really want anything to do with the 29th and 27th defensive teams, so I'm going to stay away from that one. Cleveland, Chicago, I posted this as a lean in the article. Opened at 9.5. Now it's down to minus 7. Justin Fields is getting his first start, so we can throw the Chicago stats out the window. You can see they're only averaging 135.5 pass yards per game, which is 31st, but I think Justin Fields has the ability to turn that around, and he's facing a defense that's giving up the 23rd most passing yards per game, which is phenomenal. The one thing you can pay attention to on here is the defense. So Chicago ranks 9th overall, 11th rushing, 9th passing. So they have a solid defense that I think is going to keep them in this game. So if you can get 7, I love getting a touchdown here. Cleveland's defense is not that good, so I think Fields is going to have some success extending plays and running around. So this is kind of a lean play. I'm going to bet it. I don't absolutely love it. We've got it. We're saying our model saying that Chicago should be plus 6. They're plus 7. If it was plus 9.5, I would say yes, that's far enough off our model. From 7 to 6, it's only a point, so I think it's going to be really close. We have Cleveland 26-20, but I'm going to sprinkle a little bit here on Chicago take the points. And even if you want to tease this up, I don't like teasing this game as much just because we don't know what Fields is going to do. If he got blown out, I wouldn't be shocked. But I do like the plus 7 or more on there. Pittsburgh, Cincy staying away from. Vegas. Now, as long as Derek Carr plays, this is going to be my 4th play that I like. Opened at pick, moved to 4.5. Bobby Index has it at minus 5, so we're inside that. Our cheat line has it at Vegas minus 10, and we got them winning by 10. So laying 4.5, I don't mind it. I think Carr is questionable right now. I don't know if he's going to play, so I'm probably going to wait, but if he does play, I am interested in it. The reason is Vegas, surprisingly, and again, this is terrible for my Kansas City Chiefs because they're in the same division, they're putting up 458 offensive yards per game, which is number 1 in the NFL, and they've played 2 decent defenses in Baltimore and Pittsburgh, beating both teams that nobody thought they would win. So that is kind of surprising for me, and they're kind of middle of the road on defense. They're doing decent. Carr's got a lot of weapons now, so this is something where he could have some success. They're going to be able to get pressure on Tua or whoever the quarterback is. I don't think Tua plays this week. I think he's questionable as of right now. And then Right now, Miami they're ranked 31st in pressure on the QB, so I don't think they're going to put a lot of pressure on Carr, and he's going to be able to throw all day on him. So laying 4.5, I don't mind it. Coming down here, I see Vegas doesn't like to run the ball, so that's good for their passing offense. Miami, statistically, they have a good defense, but I'm going to lean Vegas in this one. Not going to tease it because this is a dead number. If you do a 6.5 point teaser on 4.5, you cross 0, and if you cross 0, that your equity falls off a cliff. So if you're teasing something, you never want to cross 0. You want to stay on one side and either lower the points or add to the points, but crossing 0 is detrimental. This was another lean play that I was looking at. I wrote it up in the article. So opened at -9, now it's -10. Bobby Index has it at 6.5. We got it 8.5. So 8.5 to 10, it's not enough for me to say, hey, I'm going to play this game. Non-sheet looking at it, I do like it. The Jets look absolutely awful right now. You can see they're putting up 294 yards on offense, and Denver's putting up a surprising 409, which is terrible for my AFC West and my Chiefs. Every freaking team in this division is doing well this year. So they're putting up the 7th most yards per game. And then defensively, they're allowing the 3rd least. So they're putting up 409 and allowing 251. So that's a great equity number. So I think Denver can win this game. I don't know if they can win by 10. That's a lot, but I mean, heck, they've been doing it this far. So this is another lean game that I like. And then this is going to be the game of the week, Tampa Bay and the LA Rams. So this opened at Tampa plus 2.5. Now it's Tampa minus 1.5. Now, Bobby line has Tampa -1, so you can see the line is typically going to gravitate to this Bobby index line. So we see it did that. It opened at plus 2.5. Now it's -1.5, so it went past our Bobby line. And then over here on the cheat line, we've got the Rams favored by 3.5. So this one's kind of torn for me because statistics and number-wise, it points to the Rams and taking these points. But personally, I like the Bucks. This is a lean play for me. This is one that I'm thinking about playing. It's probably going to determine how my noon games go and my noon bets. If I do really well, I'll probably stay off of it and watch the game. If I don't, it may be a game that I go after and, get some action on. Both defenses are really good. Both offenses are really good. I think this game ends up being a shootout. I think the Rams have the better defense. And then I think Brady is pretty much unstoppable. He has so many weapons with Godwin and Mike Evans and Antonio Brown and Gronk. You can't possibly shadow cover everybody and lock them down. Somebody is going to be open, so Tampa is going to score. So that's why I lean Tampa here. As far as yards per rush attempt allowed, you can see the Rams are giving up 4.7, which is kind of surprising with their defense, but Tampa Bay is only giving up 3. But then when you look over here on these pass defense numbers, they're both kind of about the same. As far as yardage allowed, Tampa's only allowing 57 rush yards per game, but they're giving up 342 passing yards per game. So I think Stafford will have success. I do kind of like the over, but 55.5 is a lot for the two top 12 defenses playing each other. But anyways, those are the games I like. I don't believe I had any more on here. Nope, I'm not on any of these games yet. So anyways, those are the games that I like. I hope you guys like the video, and good luck. Subscribe, and make sure to check back. We're also going to post a college football best bets video within the next 24 hours. Thank you.